What is going on, everybody? It's Alex here, and I missed you guys. It's been a while, and we have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about Tesla, Elon Musk, what happened with the presentation they gave at the GigaTexas factory. We have to talk about what he said, and we have to interpret this and see what this means for the stock market. Let's talk about what's happening in Tesla right now. So, past month, Tesla had, number one, Giga Berlin open, great factory, very exciting news. Very good news about Tesla. That was the first catalyst to move the Tesla stock higher. Now, this past week, we had GigaTexas open, and that was a lot of fun. So many Tesla people, they had a lot of footage to show, and I shared a lot of it. So if you guys don't follow me on my socials, go to Alex Langos at TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and you're gonna see what I share most of this. Let's talk about what Elon Musk said in this presentation. Elon Musk in this presentation talked to us about, first of all, safety. He says, if you have a car with FSD, your car will be 10 times safer on the road. And that is great. So once they roll this out, and you know, many people and many investors, they don't even factor this in. They don't even factor FSD in the calculations about Tesla. So he said the cars will be 10 times safer. Another thing he says is that they use real world AI, and this is cool. Now, Elon has this thing, he thinks in the future, he has this ability to think far ahead in the future, and this causes him to talk about things that they haven't happened yet. So he really wants to talk about, he really wants to talk about robots and autonomous AI. They call the first robot Optimus, and they want to talk about it. Now, investors don't really like that because they consider Tesla a car company, which that's a mistake, but Tesla is a data company, Tesla is an AI company for sure, but they make cars now. So that's what investors want to see, cars, not robots. Anyway, this is a side note, something to keep in mind. They're gonna be making their own robot, which is gonna learn and it's gonna have AI powers, and it's gonna learn from what we do, and then it's gonna do the mundane tasks. He actually says the robot is gonna do the things that we don't want to do. It was another thing in the presentation, and I'm gonna link the whole thing down. It's like a 2-hour presentation, but he talks about 30 minutes. Strategically, as far as investing in factories that they actually make cars, how many Giga factories they got. Right now they have 3 major Giga factories in 3 continents. This is great, and he stresses this fact, and I really appreciate that, and this is so smart. He says they don't have to ship cars anymore. That's the goal anyway. Not to ship cars, put them in containers and then send them from China to here or from here somewhere else. They make them in the continent, and this is huge because makes no sense financially or otherwise, although it's been done like this for years, to ship cars from continent to continent, although you can just put a factory at a country or a continent that is really strategically placed, and then you can produce all the cars you need from there. So, no more shipping cars for Tesla. Something I really appreciated, and you should too, he said the global headquarters, they are in Texas. So the GigaTexas is the global headquarters for Tesla. Now look, the headquarters of GM, the headquarters of Chrysler, and then the headquarters of Ford, I'm gonna put pictures respectively, you gotta realize they are headquarters, they are office buildings. Now guess what? Tesla decided to make a factory, yes, a factory. They decided to make this their headquarters. So why? Because this is where the production happens. People sleep in the factory at Tesla to get things done. Okay? That's the spirit, that's how you get things done, that's how you get ahead. So, the global headquarters for Tesla are in Texas, they are the GigaTexas factory, and we are very proud of that because it's a no-brainer. Your headquarters has to be where your production is. Don't separate the two, and you have such a great position and you have such a great market share, and the demand is off the roof. Makes no sense for you to have office buildings. Side note here, Elon bought a ton of Twitter stock right now, which is a whole nother story that we're gonna talk about another day. And he said, because everybody's working from home on Twitter, he said that the headquarters of Twitter in California, they can make them a homeless shelter, and this created a whole another drama, right? But anyway, working from home, you cannot get real production done from home. Let's be honest, and if you get this job, good for you, and keep it, and they pay you good, that's great, it's convenient for you, but that's not convenient for the company. And then if you're Tesla, or if you're a company that changes the world, you want people in-house, and you don't buy offices, you keep producing and making great factories, okay? Another thing he says is they learned a lot from Fremont, and they learned a lot from making a factory and making it autonomous, and they use these great machines that they work with each other and then they produce a product. So the idea of Elon and the factory, he says raw material in, he kept saying that, raw material in, a bunch of things happen, and then at the other end of the factory a car comes out. So that's the idea. You get raw materials and then you have a great, amazing factory that works autonomously. I'm gonna put a picture here. He says you have to think of it as a unifying package. It's like a chip. This is something that hasn't been done like this for years. So now you have to realize Elon comes in and he really thinks about how to structure a factory that works to its optimum capacity and, efficiently. You gotta realize Elon is a great thinker and he does things differently. So he says he wants his factories to work like a chip, a unifying package, A chip, everything you need in the chip is a closed circuit, raw material in, like he said, cars is the output, and then the system in the middle is the factory. This is great. Again, I'm gonna put the picture here. Look how great it is structured. This is so amazing and innovative. They learned a lot from California, they learned a lot from Fremont, so now they're applying all this knowledge. Right now they have streamlined pretty much the process of making a factory, and this is great because guess what? Now they can copy and paste this everywhere in the world and have amazing, great cars coming out right now. Another big thing that a lot of Tesla bulls have been expecting and a lot of people have been expecting is the new battery cell that they call it 4680. This is a great innovative technology, and he says that the GigaTexas will be the biggest cell factory in the world about batteries. This is great. The 4680 is a new battery. We can go into a long detailed story of why this is better than other batteries, but regardless, many people will have a different opinion about that too, and the structural package as well. So the structural package means now every car that's being produced from a Giga factory, especially from the one in Texas right now, it's gonna come with a structural package. What this means is the battery cannot be separated from the body. And then the biggest idea here is that the whole car is gonna be consisted of 3 major pieces. This makes it easier to produce because there is less parts, so the car becomes lighter, and then he says improves the crash performance, which is great because cars like this, because they have a low center of gravity, because the battery is on the bottom regardless, they're great when it comes to safety. Let me tell you something, if you and your family to ride a safe car, put them in a Tesla. It's the safest car out there. Tesla doesn't advertise this. They do this wrong. I love Tesla and I say many great things about Tesla, but their PR and their safety scores are amazing and nobody really focuses on that. People focus on performance, people focus on range, people focus on sex appeal or whatever. Nobody focuses on their safety aspect. And let me tell you something, Teslas are the safest cars you can buy out there. They're high up there with Volvo, even better, okay? So Teslas are safe and they should push this out there more. Structural pack actually means that the battery comes integrated in the body, so you cannot swap or change the battery. The big news, the great news, the thing that gets me excited, the thing that I love to see, and every time I get the glimpse of footage, I just stop and look at the footage again, okay? The Cybertruck. Everybody has been waiting for the Cybertruck. Now, this is smart. It's sad, but it's smart. He said this on a conference call at the earnings call in January. He said, this year we will not be making the Cybertruck, and we felt the pain in the stock market for that. He said, we'll start making the Cybertruck next year. Sad, but a strategic move, right? Now, the Cybertruck is gonna come next year. He said that, and they put one up there, and let me tell you, this is a sexy piece of machine. Many people disagree with me, and in the beginning I was like, what is that? But this truck right now has grown on me so much, I cannot explain to you. I'm very excited about what's to come about the Cybertruck. The biggest strategy about Tesla, they said this year they're planning to get this packed down and under and start producing the cars they already have. No new products, strategic move, no new products, keep pushing since the demand is so high, the Model Ys that they sell like crazy, keep pushing the Model 3s that they are your cheapest model, keep pushing what works because the demand is crazy. Side story, Hertz cannot get enough Teslas because, everybody wants a Tesla, so now they're moving to Polestar to get some EVs. Now Hertz is smart, Hertz has smart management again, so they know this is where the game is at, EVs, and this is where the game is at in the future, so they focus on getting any EV they can. Now that's a great problem to have. They cannot get enough Tesla, so they go buy Polestar, GGPI in the stock market, great stock. Great thinking. No new products this year. This year he said we're gonna focus on pushing out what we already have. They plan to push out 500,000 cars a year from GigaTexas. This is insane. That's gonna make GigaTexas the biggest car factory in America. He brings up a graph, I'm gonna bring it for you too. He says Tesla is doing great, but they have a long way to go to catch up with the demand and to catch up with the production. They ramped up production big time, but they have a long way to go. He puts up a graph, and this is a great thing to show you how bullish. I don't know if you guys noticed my bull here. He's ready to jump on you if you don't subscribe and smash that like button, okay? He said we have a long way to go to ramp up with production. My favorite part about the presentation, something that nobody really focused on, but here is my favorite part. He has a plan to create massive scale. He says, I want to create massive scaling, and these gigafactories are going to help him achieve that. Great streamlined processes that create amazing products, push them out. You know, there is another thing they heard a little bit, by the way, that service. By the way, I test drove a Tesla the other day, and I was talking to the guy there, and he said he got his wife a Tesla, right? A Model Y. She loved it. But he said, you're screwed if you need to make an appointment and take your car in for a service. You have to wait a month or months, okay? Tesla has to consider that as well. They have to consider that they hurt a little bit when it comes to servicing. For you mechanics out there, let me tell you something. If you guys are smart, go out there and get yourself educated and certified or whatever you have to do right now on how to fix and be certified to fix electric vehicles. This is the future. You're gonna make a ton of money, and you should be doing this right now. So truly passive scale, he says full self-driving will happen probably by the end of this year or by the beginning of the next. And then he talks about robotaxis, and this is another thing about Elon. Elon likes to talk about a lot of things. Robotaxis, Optimus, which is the AI robot I was telling you about, investors don't like these things. They don't like to hear about robotaxis. They don't like anything that removes Elon's attention from the car company and puts Elon's attention on something else. They don't like that, and it makes sense. You gotta understand, this makes sense because you're trusting somebody with millions of dollars, all right? And then you expect him to produce cars, and then he starts talking to you about Optimus, which is the version 1 of their AI robot, and then he starts talking to you about robotaxis, and he keeps mentioning them. What a robotaxi is, by the way, a robotaxi is a car without a driver, which is fully autonomous and has full self-driving on, and it's legal on the street to take you from point A to point B with no problem. That's a robotaxi, with no driver sitting on the driver's seat. That's what a robotaxi is. We're very close to that. I don't get why he's obsessing with that so much. I mean, he's been waiting a very long time for him to roll this out, and that's a huge project for them, the full self-driving that people really don't appreciate or understand or value enough, okay? But that's gonna change the world. Elon is gonna transform the world, hands down, right? Tesla gets all my money and should get all yours, right? What is coming next year? That's the exciting part, guys. Next year, he said, we have coming new products. They plan, after they scale up the production this year, to have a massive wave of new products, I quote line by line, the coming year. He said, next year we're gonna have my favorite, the Cybertruck. He said, next year we're gonna have the Roadster. And he says, next year we're gonna have the Semi, the big truck. So they're gonna roll the new products out next year. Now, don't hold your breath too much about Elon's promos about next year, okay? Because he tends to promise a lot of things. He definitely pushes the bar forward like that, but don't hold your breath. Now, what I wanna tell you, what is the thing you have to leave out of here? Tesla is an amazing company. Tesla throws the best parties around. Keep buying Tesla. Right now, we're caught in a crossfire again. This year is like a tug of war. The economy and the macro economy pulls one way, and then Tesla has all this great news and pulls another way, and then who is gonna win? Usually the macro economy always wins, because if you're in a recession and then you run a great company, the prices still go down. You have this thing where, you know, you have a great company and they produce great earnings, but then because of high interest rates, then PEs and then the multiples, they get consolidated down. If you are in a high interest rate environment, you know, what happens is, even though you have a company with great earnings and you have a company that's like a really good company, the PE multiples and all these numbers, they get compressed down, so the price of a stock comes down. The company is great, although the company keeps beating expectations, the stock goes down, okay? It is what it is, you gotta accept it. What should you do? I'll leave you with that. What should you do? Today is Monday, the 11th of April. Tomorrow, the 12th of April, I'll leave you with that. we're gonna have CPI data, and it's gonna be the worst we've seen, I believe. It's gonna be the worst CPI data we've seen for a long time. And the CPI data that's coming out tomorrow, don't forget, it's for last month. So last month we had war going on. Last month we had the first interest rate happen, if you remember. So there is gonna be pain tomorrow. There is pain already today. And should you wait, I would suggest to you buy some Tesla tomorrow or this week if you see it go down, and just hold it. It's good times to be alive, guys. Elon is changing the world. You remember how back in like freaking 2020 we're talking about how Elon is going head to head with Jeff Bezos. What happened to Jeff Bezos? What happened to Jeff Bezos going to the moon? What happened to Jeff Bezos doing all these things? And I want to close with a last thing, guys. America is the only game in town. The US is the only game in town. I was watching a presentation the other day, and then these guys talk about how great Chinese companies are great, alright? And I agree. But here's the thing, okay? There is some great Chinese companies, but the Chinese system is corrupt. These people are in a communist country. You cannot trust anything they say. I hate to sound like Trump, okay? But here's the thing. Anything there is cooked. Now, does it mean that here we don't have crooked politicians and we don't have crooked systems? Absolutely we do, alright? But tell me, what would you prefer to buy Alibaba and Neo and Xpeng and all these companies or whatever? Or would you prefer to buy Google, Amazon? Would you prefer to buy Nvidia, Tesla, the king, our king? Would you prefer to buy Neo or would you prefer to buy Tesla? You tell me, guys. Adobe, you know, Salesforce. What companies would you like to buy? Tell me. America and the US stock market is the only game in town. And then if you pair this with crypto markets, which are global, I mean, that's the only game in town. Don't focus on Chinese companies. Don't buy Alibaba. This is not financial advice. That's the first thing I had to say from the beginning, all right? Let me tell you something though, seriously. If you guys feel like buying Chinese stocks and you make money on them, go for it. I'm not the person to tell you what to do or not to do. I'm just telling you, if you want more peace of mind and you want to invest in actually great companies, buy Tesla, okay? I love you guys and power to you no matter what you do. Go out there, make some money. Now is the buying time. Now is the focusing time. Now is where people drop off the game because they get tired. And this is now we have to push, all right? I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this content. I'm here to provide value. I'm going to try and wrap up production like Elon to 2 videos a week, okay? Pray for me. I love you. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. See you soon. Guys, thank you so much for watching the entire video. You are the true troops. Click right here and subscribe. Please watch this video if you have some time. And then, if you're gonna follow me on socials, go to Alex Langos at Twitter, at Instagram, and TikTok. I love you guys so much. You guys are the best. And I'll catch you guys soon.